feel like it's a gewaldige schus that you didn't come together to learn Tomer Devorah. Middle of the day. So we're trying to finish the first perek of Tomer Devorah, and the words are as follows. Let's look at inside. If we get to the end, we could say siyum maybe. Ad kan higiu shloishes midos shebehen yeh ha'adam doime el koinai. What we learned so far is that when the Tomer Devorah says something, you have to be medayik in his lashonos. It's not just writing, right? So what does higiu mean? Just, who knows Hebrew? What does it mean?
Achieved.
What was the ooh? don't be. Ad kan higiu. What does it mean? What does it mean? If you look at it out of context, they have reached. I know if it's we have, I'm not a big Hebrew.
The limit. Higiu. 13 minutes. Ad kan higiu 13 minutes. Those 30 minutes got to here. Finished.
What?
Up to here.
It's not us. Not now. We have reached. That would start with the nun somehow.
The midas.
Right?
The midas.
The midas have reached. Okay, so already a chiddush. The midas have reached. Ad kan higiu. We have been introduced to maybe. The midas have reached us. Ad kan higiu shloishes midas. So keep that on back burner for a second. Shebehen yeh adam. That with these midos, a person should be doime el koinai, should be similar to his creator. Goes right back to the introduction, where the machayev of all of these midos is that we're created b'tzelem Elokim, and it doesn't mean that we just look like Hashem, or Kadosh Baruch Hu somehow. There's obviously no physical connection between us and Kadosh Baruch Hu. That would be apocalypse. So, what does it mean that we're created b'tzelem Elokim? That we have some kochos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when He created the world, so He created Adam as a demus, b'tzalmai of b'demusai, as a demus of He Himself. It means that certain things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do, we could do too, because that's the energy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that came into this world, dafka through us. Meaning it could be through all the different parts of the bria, but all the parts of the bria have one little midah, another little midah, right? If we didn't have a Torah, we would learn honesty from the Nemala or shrizas from the ants or whatever. But they have little pieces of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of godliness in them. But we have it all. Person is all. We're the bechir of the bria. So. Ad kan higiu shloishes midos shebehen yeh adam doime el koinai sheheina midos shel rachamim. And don't think that some of these midos are chesed or gevura or tiferes. They're all midos harachamim. El yoinos uskulason ki kemoi she'adam misnaheg lamato. That just like however a person behaves in this world. Now we're not unfamiliar with the idea of midah keneged midah. This is not a chiddush, but what he's saying here, I think, is a tremendous chiddush in a number of ways. But he says, let's just look at the words. As we behave between ourselves. Here, lamata, kach yiske, we will have the schus, liftayach loy. Liftoyach loy means will be open for him. Like where our midos here are like
opening the spigot,
turning on the faucets. Liftoyach loy mida el yoina milamalo. Mamish kefi mashi yisnaik. Kach mashpia milmalo v'garim shoisa hamida ta'ir ba'olam. So we have just been turned into a switchboard, where if we do this, it opens up this barez, and if we do that, it opens up that barez, and there are maybe 13 brozim in Shemayim, and by our behavior, we're opening up these midos. As I said, we're not unfamiliar with the idea of midah keneged midah, but this is a much more sophisticated version of midah keneged midah, where we're actually opening up pipes. It's not that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, "Okay, you want to be that way about it? Tit for tat." This is something much more that somehow or another, we're created b'tselem Elokim, but we're like connected to the Shemayim in some form or another. So that means that it starts here, but it ends here. So everything that we're doing here is being mashpia on what's going on there, and that's mashlim the midah. So it's not just midah keneged midah in the sense that you get what you deserve. It's midah keneged midah in the sense that we are part of the operating system of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Do you hear the difference? Gam ani shamati es nakas b'nei Yisrael, said yesterday. V'gam ani shamati es nakas b'nei Yisrael. I'll also hear. First you have to hear it's nakas b'nei Yisrael, and then I'll hear v'gam ani shamati es nakas b'nei Yisrael. Where does it start? It starts here. As I said yesterday, there's books written about it. Here it is. V'gam ani shamati. Now, so it's different than midah keneged midah. It's completing the circuit of the Bria. Completing the circuit of the Bria.
Like essentially we're making our own bed. And we have to sleep in it for eternity.
But that could but that can mean a lot of things. That can mean just like you get what you deserve. That the expression that can mean, or it could mean is, I think something much more. That's what I'm trying. I want to make sure that we're all on the same level here. I mean something much more fine-tuned than all of the cliches that we often say that are all true. Those cliches are true, but there's something deeper there. Is that we're part of the circuitry of the Bria. So to be B'Tselem Elokim means we're part of the circuitry. It's not like us and him. We're part of the circuitry. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us to be part of this circle. So it means to say, if we make things get stuck here, and we don't pass it along in the proper way, so then you're stopping Ki'ilu the Shemayim from doing what it's meant to be doing.
We're receivers and transmitters.
Right.
Like
So
a radio.
Yeah, if anybody lasted this long, at the beginning of the Kedusha Shabbos of Reb Tzadok when we were learning, so this is exactly what we're learning, that Shamar B'nai Yisrael Sashabbos, Lasos Sashabbos. That there's the Kadosh Baruch Hu does the Bria, and the whole Bria comes to us, Shabbos. And now we take it and we bring the whole thing, we give the whole thing back to Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's a Shabbos Shemoshiach. Lasos is a Shabbos. So there's a circle here. What's important to remember is that it's not an up to down movement, and it's not just a down to up movement. There's a circle here, and this honestly, I've been Jewish for a long time. I can't think of anything more important. I can't think of anything more important than to know this idea that of the koach of the basar v'dam, of the ben adam, of the creation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Yitzir Kappa of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be able to complete the circuit. And if we don't, it's not completed. So here you have, and we're getting very sophisticated at this, because we're talking about specifically Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim. So not just, let me tell you a little bit about God. It's not just, it's important to understand, he says here at the end, not just the Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim of Hashem, but the Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim of us, so that we can understand how to put that back. Let's not even transmit, Livtoach lo. It's knowing this secret which allows us to open up Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim and Shemayim.
Developing.
Maybe, but let's say opening.
But it sounds like he's less talking about the detrimental effects of the bad things we do. He's talking about if we are like the Kodesh Baruch Hu, he's beyond with us, we complete that circle. He doesn't say if we kill somebody, what detrimental effects. Except
that that's a chasaron in the Yud Gimel Midos.
So we haven't completed the circuit. But we
Right.
we understood also that there's a, it's piles something in a negative sense in the world as well.
Yeah, but we have completed a circuit. In other words, if we kill somebody, there's a bad meter that we've completed, that we have completed a certain circuit. In other words, we haven't done. It seems to be what have we done, and what meter have we done, whether it's a good meter or a bad meter.
Could be like this. In my unfortunate, television upbringing, I'm just thinking like Carbon Bais Hamikdash, Malachim saying, we got a short here somewhere. In other words, somewhere here at the bottom, there's some kind of a short. Short means that two wires are not connected. So there's a short. We lose the hashpah, and comes a destruction of stone. We lose. There's a disconnect here. There's a disconnect. So what's powering the Beis Hamikdash? The answer is, but this is the mind-boggling part. What's powering the Beis Hamikdash? The Beis Hamikdash. The Beis Hamikdash is powering the Beis Hamikdash because the Beis Hamikdash is evaporating a midah of Shechina and Hatava Lamala to the Beis Hamikdash Shalmala to the Yerushalayim Shalmala, and that's beaming down the Hashpah to the Beis Hamikdash Shalmata. So there isn't going to be a short in Shabayim because Shabayim everything is Nitzchi. So there could be a short in Aretz. We're creating a short. What's the short? Short's called Sinas Chinam. Okay. So now that we do, let's say Sinas Chinam, or also Gilui Arayos works, Avodah Zarah, Shvichas Damim. These are things that create a short. And once it creates a short, so now it's stuck. Now let me we're ending the Perek Rishon. Let me just ask the most important question here, which here we just learned that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing these 13 things for us, and therefore we should be doing it. So, for instance, the last 2 weeks we learned Asher Nishmato Lavoiseh Heidu B'Mei Kedem, right? Hashem promised us that He's going to help us and He's going to save us because of Schus Avos. So, what is there? Is there a T'nai here? He's only going to help us because of Schus Avos, or Oitzer Matnas Chinam is only going to be open, or like the last two, even if there's nothing. Even if there's nothing, we quoted from the Balatanya last week on his yard site, right? that even if there's nothing, there's still we're made out of good stuff. So if there's nothing, so then how can there be something? Then Asher Nishbata L'Avashem Mekedem. If you do these 13 mitzvahs, but we're far, we're doing Sinas Chinam, we're doing so what? So how does this work? Like, why do we have to do all of this? It doesn't make any sense superficially to say that the only way we're going to get this matnas chinam in our lives from HaKadosh Baruch Hu is if we give matnas chinam. Well, then it's not a matnas chinam. My kasha clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't want this kavanah to be lost.
Is it matnas chinam from Hashem or not? Chinam means chinam. Chinam means we don't do anything. We're laying on the beach. Kabul the sun. We're not doing anything.
That's a 6,000 years, huh?
Exactly.
Well, don't get so deep on me. I'm just saying, very simple. I'm asking a simple kasha.
It's going to happen after 6,000 years, whether you're ra'oi or not. But if we ra'oi, if we do things with kavanah.
Are you saying this is mamahir?
Yeah.
Talking about for us. I'm not talking about the timeline of history here. We're talking about for us. So,
We just can't see what's happening behind the scenes. It's just going on anyway.
so it's happening behester panim.
Right.
So what are we opening? It says here, again, I don't want to be 100% crystal clear here. It says here we're opening up Yud Gimel Shvilin Shalamala, and the way we're opening them up is by acting that way.
Maybe we're revealing it. Now, the Beit HaMikdash is a perpetual motion machine, but we can't always see it. It's not there in reality, in physical reality, but it's there.
Okay, so okay, that's more speaks to me more. Meaning that if we're talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu is like light. So if there's light, you don't see light. You only see light if it's reflecting on something. We are the reflectors. So if we're the reflectors, so the light doesn't change. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving this light all the time. But if we're not reflecting it, so now I'm changing metaphors from being a circuit that has to be completed to being a
Mirror.
reflector of light. So let me just learn with you. You see, again, the idea of midah keneged midah is not unfamiliar to us, but I don't think that's what we're talking about, per se, or else there's a new type of midah keneged midah. I'm not talking about, tit for tat here. What we're talking about here is that somehow or another we have to understand the secret workings of the Brias Ha'olam. And the secret workings of the Brias Ha'olam is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is being mashpia, but he's only being mashpia. It's not being mashpia one way, it's a circle. So if we're not mashpia in the same way, if we're not doing our part of the tzelem alakim, so the machine is broken. We're breaking this machine. There's a machine because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is demusay lamala and demusay lamata. And the demusay lamata, this was, by the way, the lahavdil elef havdalos, this was the kavanah of all the Ovdei Avodah Zarah to try to create these reflective machines here, whether it's the Migdal Bavel or whether it was the Baal. This was their kavanah. But we know the kavanah. You don't need the Migdal Bavel, you don't need the Baal. It's us. It's us inside of our own neshamas that we have to complete this circuit. So the midah keneged midah is a very, very sophisticated. So it's like everything else. That if it's not, there's no place. If it doesn't move, if you cut the wire is cut. So the electricity is coming through, but if it's not going through anything and it's not going back to the negative side, it's not doing anything. So this is the circle that we need to complete. So let's just 1 second. Let's let Rishon Bar Yochai talk here for a second. So a new level we're learning today, possibly of midah keneged midah. Secret workings of Hashem. The Medrash, the Zohar says, in Parshas Tetzaveh, Daf Kuf Pei Daled Amud Beis. Here the Medrash is talking about so important. Tiku b'chodesh shofar b'kesel yom chageinu. Tkiyah shofar. Is there Tkiyah shofar in Parshas Tetzaveh? I'll tell you why it's here. So he says like this. Here's the Yisrael. I'll read it to you in Hebrew, make it easier. Rosh Hashanah hu azman she'yisayir din elyon mibina. Ukisha'adin misayir milamala. Sitra achra is kafif ba'adeh. Sitra achra mischazek imoy l'katrek l'hashim. Okay, let me leave you alone for a minute. It's the easy part. Not finding the easy part. Okay. We're talking about here what happens when you blow the shofar. So it says as follows: Kadmati zimna l'chadatusi berkoin v'kuchelahara. When the time comes for the brachos to come from Shemayim to Aretz, meaning when the year is over and a new year is starting. This is talking about Rosh Hashanah. So what do? Kulan salkin migav tatoi inun kishron. All the birurim and the netzutzim come from the avodah of Bnei Yisrael hatachtonim through their Torah and their tefillah. And according to Kfi, I'm reading the Hebrew, Kfi arach habirurim sho'ilim kach mamsheches ima es hamoichin hakolim l'chol hashana ba. According to what we are on Rosh Hashanah, let's say, beginning, Rosh. Just like the Rosh gives energy to the entire body, the Rosh Hashanah. And according to what we are at the moment of Rosh Hashanah, not what we do so much, but what we are. So that's what's going up and creating a din. So, Kad Misari Tachlas, Kad Misari Yisrael Lasata B'Shofar. Make a mental note to read this on Erev Rosh Hashanah. When Klal Yisrael, here in this world, Misayrim b'tshuva be'ishmias hakol hashofar, when we do tshuva while we're listening to the shofar, so now the kol shofar is being ola to the shamayim. Oz hachu kol adanafav mishofar botash ba'aviru ubaka rakiyan. Kol hahu hayoytze min hashofar, the sound of the shofar, makeh ba'avir, shesham nimtzois haklipois haroitzos la'akev es tshuvas Yisrael mila'alois milamala, uboikeas harakiyim shel asitra achra. The sound of the shofar itself flies up into the air and bangs against the stone wall called Sitra Achra and busts it apart. Ad she'ola ala sela chazak, until it gets to this big stone wall. Hahu shehu Sitra Achra shekisas ar hamalchus. There's a block here, meaning again, think of your circuit. It's being blocked. You're in a tunnel. It's not getting it's not getting up there to the malchus. And once we break through that, the kol shofar has a koach to break, when it's mixed with tshuva, that is. It has a koach to break through that wall. It's a breakthrough. And then what happens when it's all broken up is the mekatreg, that who doesn't want us to do tshuva, misbalbel ayidei tshuvas b'nei Yisrael l'tzkiyah shofar. It's all mixed up. This is the side we keep on hearing all the time on Rosh Hashanah time about being mevalbel the satan. Being mevalbel the satan. As kol ha-shofar oimed u'masalik u'mavir sadin min ha-malchus. So says the Zohar, kivan shelamatu b'malchus nis'oyer harachamim. If we have here in Oretz, Lamata, we have rachamim, when we blow shofar, and the shofar has in it rachamim, which is tshuva and hachna and anivus and all that which we have when we blow the shofar, which we should have. So what happens then is HaKadosh Baruch Hu then blows his shofar. You see the circle? Yitaka b'shofar gadol. Umoitzi kol. What's the sound of the shofar of Hashem? Kol harachamim. It's a sound of rachamim. Va'az, with these words, they said it chill. Nifgashim kol hashofar hatachton b'kol hashofar ha'elyon. Dahainu rachamim berachamim. Ubisarusa delasata isar hachinami la'ela. Ki bisaris kol hashofar belamata. Misayreres habina, which is rachamim gam kein lamala lahoitzias amloichem zera. So we're creating a great connect between our tzkiyah shofar. You understand what the Zohar says over and over again is that the pshat of shofar, just in parentheses, it's a combination of eish mayim v'ruach. The neshama is made out of the same stuff. That's the same stuff. So what's happening is, like you're taking something which is the, well, let's start from Hashem. Vayipach ba'apav nishmas chayim. That was the first tzkiyah shofar. Kadosh Baruch Hu blew life into us when He created us. So we have that. That's ruach. We have the ruach. When we blow the shofar, we're taking that ruach and we're sending it back to Kadosh Baruch Hu, going through the system of the human system before doing so. So what's happening here is that Vayipach ba'apav nishmas chayim, we're alive. Now we're taking that same breath and we're blowing. That breath has to be full of tshuva and kedusha and neshama. It's not just like blowing the bugle here. This is a very deep coming from the neshama blow, and that comes up. Now when we're blowing, so now the circle is now completed. Things are starting to flow. And misarev ha-shofar b'shofar harachamim b'rachamim, neshama b'neshama. Everything is being misarev together.
Why is it Yisroel Chamayim and not Adam?
So that what?
So the offer?
No, so the offer stays here. From offer you come, from offer you go, dust to dust. But everything else stays, is eternal. V'im toimar frek the Zohar eich yochel kol ha-shofar shalabata Oy eza hisar shilabata lo er kenegdoi kavoike labala. How does this work? Yim toibar frank the zayar. How can anything we do labata affect that which happens labala? We get here to the essential point. Kloibar ma'u skulas hatachtoinim shemahapchim habidos hel yodos midid larachamim. How could what we do here affect what goes on there? And for the Zayar, Tachazi, the same as Tashba. Tachazi, Atayibshat, Al-Matata, listen carefully to this because it's life. Al-Matata, Kaibala, Kabla, Tadir. So he says, let me explain, says Rosh Hashanah to you, how this works. And this is our explanation. I read you in Hebrew. Bo'arei, Tachazi. It's interesting that in the Gemara it always is Tashba. In the Zayar it's Tachazi. Bo'arei. In other words, just be makabel. This is Kabbalah. It's not gonna come up with this by Svar. We're created here to be makabel. This is what it's all about. What it's all about is that the positive energy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs a place to reflect upon. It needs a place to land. We're not something different than the machine. We are the machine. We are a cog in the wheel. We're part of the engine of the Bria. So this is the whole difference here. This is the main thing that I want to point out here today. That we're not like we're not just like end users or at the end of the rope or makablim of the Shef Elyodah. That would be if we would be rabbits. But we're people. So as people, we're part of the machine. That's the job of being Salam Aleichem. We're part of the machine. We're part of this Bria. Vayipach ba'apav man denofach min delay kanofach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, okay. He didn't blow into the rabbit's nose. Only in Taurus. They were somehow alive without HaKadosh Baruch Hu blowing into his nostrils. He blew into our nostrils. By the way, I presume this means all of humanity, because everybody comes from Adam, until those rejected it. There were those that rejected it. So he says, we're Malchus, we're the Malchus of Hashem, Tamid L'Kabel. We could be Makabel. Kihi beis kibel el hashefa shel apartzufim el yonim. V'hi nikras even toiva. This is called in Kabbalistic language even tova. Even tova ki ke even tova habehira. Why are we called even tova? Because think about in his times before electricity. Think about light reflecting from a diamond. So the real godless of the diamond is how it's reflecting the light. That's the real godless. Hamuchenes lekabel kol minei or vigavon, in every single color sheyeh ba'olam. Every color. The prism of the diamond can break it up into colors. Va'olam ha'elyon shehu bina eino noselos ha'yidei zerapan el kaviyah matzav shinimsas. So the light from above cannot come down unless it comes down to something that could be makabaled. This diamond is polished by the Jews. If this diamond is shiny, so there's a beautiful reflective piece. We've done our part in the machine. The light begins to flow, and you begin to see all the different colors. If you didn't follow anything else, follow this, please. If a person is ba'atziva, a person is sad, ba'atziva, because we did averos. Oz noisin la kenegdon koyach hadin liyaser as harishayim. We're allowing ourselves to have Yisurim. We're opening up a pipe of Yisurim. Haresh kol totally meisim shel Yisrael. Ki gav nadon, therefore, says the pasuk, Ivdu es Hashem b'simcha. Ima adam oived es Hashem b'simcha, chedva de barnash, mashich l'gabei, chedva achara ilah. Our simcha will create a simcha of light, a light of simcha.
This is all klape the yachid, all klape the klal.
Everything, both the yachid on one level, the klal on another level, and as you said before, the timeline of history on another level. So we can certainly affect ourselves. What we're saying here is so.
This is dafka after Aveirus, if you understand that way?
That's what would make a person sad. What else is going to make a person sad? You don't have enough money. But whatever makes a person sad is bringing a din from Shamayim on a person of sadness.
So we should take that
So
go against the natural
Person
instinct.
does a sin in there.
Natural
Take
instinct.
it.
Be simple.
Be b'simcha.
Natural instincts to feel bad and feel guilty and feel depressed. So he's saying go fakert.
I would say probably this was the most important teaching, not that it originated with him, but the most important teaching of Baal Shem Tov.
Chassidus.
Therefore Chassidus. That probably, I mean, this is the Nakuta, but it's not certainly unique to Chassidus, but it's a Zayar. Long before there was Chassidus, there was a Zayar. But the point is that, I once heard one of my Rabbeim, Rav Moshe Shapiro, say that if you look at a rainbow, yesterday everybody saw a rainbow. You look at a rainbow. So a rainbow is a bow. It's half a circle. The other half a circle is under the ground. You just can't see it. So Zohar and Parshas Noach. You see half. Where's the other half? The other half is our bicep, which reflect those colors. What it has to do with the Chet, the Noach, and the Babels is not for now at this moment. But just understand that that's the seven spheres of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the seven design gavonim, the seven colors of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A rainbow is Babish B'duyak. It's never three colors or two colors. No, it's always the same. And it's coming from one end of the arts to the other end of the arts. That means that the arts is part of this circle. It came out, it doesn't even take a stop for gas up on top. It just keeps, the stop is here. So when you understand, even though it's Hashem b'simcha, the pshat is that, who wants to be the one that's going to stop the circle here and stop the circuit? A circuit is a circle, right? Who's going to want to stop the circuit, short the circuit, so that hashpah no longer comes? Now, what we can do, somebody said this before, is we can put a negative. Who's talking about that? We could put a negative thing into the circle too. We could kill somebody, or not so dramatic. We could be ba'atzvut. So the itzavon is you're literally polluting. You're literally polluting the circle as it's going up for yourself for sure, and possibly for everybody. So there's a chiyuv. So what do you do with this? So you can become like a Breslover and start dancing on the corner of the street in the middle of the Begin. Okay, that's one derech. Or if you're not holding by that yet, so you can right? It was Madrega, I guess. Or you can be some. You could be some bechelkai.
Somebody who's clinically depressed. How does that? It's very similar to us. This question. It's
But sick is sick. Sick is sick. I'm saying that some people can't put on tefillin either. That's a sad thing. But the chalapach is for us that can. Baruch Hashem, Kodesh Baruch Hu gave wonderful eitzes for that also these days. But it's Monsey Yitzhahar not to use those eitzes. I'd rather be depressed. People like being depressed. It's gishmak.
Not everyone is about Tokeya, though.
Everybody's about Tokeya.
Everyone is.
Everybody's about Tokeya. So everybody is about Tokeya. So there's a couple of chidushim here. Just one second, there's a couple of chidushim here. One chidush is that everybody has to give their contribution in here, and what you put into the pot, it's like mamish, like the community coming with food to the center, to the tamchay, like everybody's bringing. So one person is a rich person, you're bringing steaks. The next person is bringing farfel, but everybody's bringing what they're bringing, and they're bringing it b'simcha. So hence you see why Klal Yisrael was dancing with their bikurim. They were dancing with their bikurim. They weren't bringing bikurim. They're dancing with their bikurim. Why are they dancing with the bikurim? Because they want simcha. It's the world is meant to be a happy place. It's not meant to be a bad place. You know, like I had a guest over my house yesterday. It was like, I don't know, the world sucks. Okay, you know, like that's an attitude. But you know, it's so clear to me. I have to tell you that I don't usually say things like I've seen it in my own life. You can mamish change the channel, but I'm not talking about you can be happy. You can mamish bring the hashpah of simcha and shalom and nachas and even wealth into your life simply by evaporating that up. It's as simple as that. If you know, so Lubavitcher Rebbe used to always say, again, not original to him, but the words are his, like trach's gut v'zayin gut. You know, if you there's this. But this is the Zohar. B'kigavna da ivdu es Hashem b'simcha.
Rabbi, the mashal of the diamond is puzzling to me because if you bring a diamond into the room, it doesn't matter how nice the diamond is, it's not going to change the light that's coming from the light.
No, but you see, so let's fix the mashal a little bit. The light that you like let's say use an example because the diamond is so small. But let's say you say like Noach Tzoar Nasa Lateva. It was a big diamond, I presume. So that was a big gigantic change. It's a skylight of a diamond. In other words, like don't look at it as this. Look at it as coming up. Everything is coming through this and changing everything. So here's. Let's just read it one more time, and I'll go back to the Torah. And that's why we say, that's why the Torah says, Ivdos Hashem b'simcha, chedva debarnash, mashich lagabe, chedva achora ilah. The simcha of a person brings upon himself a simcha el yoino, which is even bigger from the Shechina. Achora is the Shechina. Hachanami, says Rishon Bar Yochai. So too, remember what he's explaining? He's explaining how could our shofar do anything in Shemayim. So this is the answer. Hachanami. Here also. Hai alma tata. There was the simcha was just a mashal. Hai alma tata. This alma tata, the world we live in, ki gavna deihi is ares hachi amshich milamala. That just whatever we are doing, the Bnei Yisrael, so too it's being mamshich at the end of the circle, which can take a second, by the way. Let's take 100 years or 1,000 years. It could be mamshech into our lives, mamshech simcha v'shefa milamala mehabina. Begin kach, and because of this, mikad me Yisrael, when Klal Yisrael is doing tshuva, b'Rosh Hashanah, v'yisari b'shofer kol kola, and let's say what it really means, and we're giving out from the same ruach. So we're cycling the ruach that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put in us and sending it back to Shemayim with the shofar. I just said the practical implications of this. It's Mavil al right. Do you kol ba'ashu mayim ruach, because it's a combination of Eish and Mayim and ruach. There it is. V'isavit chada becomes one. V'salka la'elo batush ba'evan tova goes up lamala, umake u'ma'oris ha'evan ha'tova she'amalchus, bangs on the door of the malchus, releases from there a shefa of toiv. V'yitztava be'inan gavnan dehai kola. In all the colors of the rainbow, whatever that means, are mushba upon us. Okay, so I'm saying all this Zohar to explain one word in the Tomer Devorah, and that is Yizke liftoyach loy mida el yoinam milmala. We're not talking about anything less than we are a part of this machine, which is poseach mida milamala, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu waiting to release all of the. He created the world, right? He's good. Olam chesed yibana. So God is good. So he's waiting to release all this toiv into our lives, into our communities, into our show, into the world. See, what happens when something terrible happens in the world? we've seen terrible things happening in the world. So what's the, so is that you're supposed to just accept it?
A lot of good,
You could
a
bring
lot
that
of
up.
good comes out. We foul centers.
So,
We do chesed.
Tefillos,
We
chesed.
fix the terrible things.
right, and change the cycle. Not our job. But
And they have to come from something.
it wakes us up to the fact that, hey, when something bad happens, so there's two parts to a circle. I mean, a circle, where's the circle start? Where's the circle end? Like, this is why Tzadikim, when they're dancing, are always dancing in a circle. This is the symbolism of dancing in a circle. It'd be better if we danced like this way, but it's too hard. That's the, but at least dance this way. B'mochel, right? Tzadikim b'mochel, right? The pshat is that if we were exuding only toiv, so only toiv would happen. There's a makom of tshuva and cheshbon nefesh, and I mentioned this by the Harnov answer. Not that it was any great chiddush, but I mentioned it then. We spoke here together at the shul. That like I don't know, like everybody's okay, we got to be more makpid on sneus, we have to be more makpid on this. Oh, of course, all MS have to be more makpid on everything, more makpid on spilul b'tzibur. I only know one thing, that the whole Masechta Tainus says that when something terrible happens, you have to do tshuva. That's what you have to do. You have to do tshuva and buy some toiva. So everybody should do tshuva. If you're not makpid on sneus, be makpid on sneus. You don't give it up tzedakah, give it tzedakah. But the point is that I came to the Bais of Harnof. I started saying Vayite Lucha every week. I felt it's something which was it's going to be like the hardest mitzvah. It's it's such a beautiful thing, because if you read about Vayite Lucha, you're talking about all the bracha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will put in the aretz. It's exactly what we're talking about over here. So you have to be makabel something. So okay, let me say my little piece. I'll say Vayite Lucha. Nothing much. It's nothing much, All I get from it in this world is that my wife says, what are you davening so much? Time to wash the dishes,
Join the club.
What do you mean? I wasn't davening, so are you becoming religious in your old age? That's what I hear. Okay, but usually it's because she's davening all the time. But the point is that when something terrible happens, and it's not necessarily those people. What's happening is that should wake us up to realize that, hey, there's a break here in the circle. If there's a break here in the circle, it needs a fix. And the fix is, you just need to push the circuit breaker back where it's shorted. It's shorted. So the shorted has to happen. The thing to do at Tshuva Ma'asim Tovim, says the Tomer Devorah, is here's the place to start, and really here's the place to end. That's the Yud Gimel Midas HaRachamim. We want Rachamim, we want Hatavim. We're part of the machine. Remember this part, because I think this is the key. We're part of the machine. We're not Makabelim only. We're part of a whole machine, and the part of the machine is not working on the bottom. Fuse here, fuse there. Remember, fuse here, fuse there. So if we short it here, this one is like a rainbow solid, never shorts. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not short. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't short. The short is always here. So if we're shorting here, what do you do? By giving somebody from our Otzer Matnas Chinam, and by saying that you really don't deserve for me to be nice to you. But, not, I want Hashem to be nice to me. But there's such a thing as Otzer Matnas Chinam. There's such a thing in this machine of ours. There's such a thing as being, only Jews can do this. You have to be nice to somebody even though they don't deserve it. You have to be able to be forgiving of someone even if they've hurt you. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be an idiot and let them hurt you again, but there's a mahalach in mechila. And by doing all of these 13, what I'd like to do, by the way, on Thursday is do a sikum of the 13, and then we'll go further to Perek Bais. So, that'll be helpful, I hope. But all of these Yud Gimel Midos Harachamim are all restoring the bottom of the rainbow. They're all restoring that which is our part to do and keeping everything flowing. So now, all of a sudden, we're getting bracha. We're getting bracha. And there's nothing that can wake us up to the fact that we need restoration than a tragedy. So, we should never have such tragedies ever. But it just means that at least we who know, have to get busy. Now, how many of us know? Not that many, but So it's a big responsibility.
Is there a difference? How do we differentiate between, obviously there are personal tragedies that we have to look at. There are communal tragedies, right? Somebody in the Tzibor, and then there are national, worldwide tragedies.
And international.
And international.
And Goyim.
Right, so like, you know.
There's nothing to differentiate. Something's broken.
But I'm saying the point is that the Rebbe said, like it says in Gemara Kindness, that tshuva is the answer. So in other words, is our reaction, in terms of ourselves and our families, is our reaction the same, whether it's a personal tragedy, an international or a national tragedy? In other words, it's still tshuva.
Yeah, but there's such a thing as national tshuva. So I just tell you that if there's a problem in our homes, I'm not do what you have to do. Help you to have go to a doctor, go to whatever you got to do to go to if there's a problem in the home. But if there's a problem in the home, the one thing for sure you have to do is fix what's broken on the spiritual side. So fixing what's broken on the spiritual side is to ask yourself, Baal HaBayis, is there some way here that I could be misakin something which will make the circle work a little bit better? It doesn't take a year, it doesn't take a week, it doesn't take a day, it takes a second. It's amazing. This is how the big Rebbes made Nissim. They were Bali Moifus. It was as simple as that. There was no Gross Zach over here. It was just anybody could do it. Yeah, we can all be Rebbes. Just the Moifus is that the Ness is to be able to change. Just change the oil. Whatever metaphor you want. Just get the circulation going in a good way again. So I'm saying that this is something I believe that we have to know for ourselves, and then even internationally. I mean, I know that when there was they came to Rav Nevin's Shlita's house. He was packing. He was packing his bags. He was getting ready. He was, where's the Rav going? Where is he going? He said he heard there's a tsunami in Japan, China. Where was it? In Malaysia. Over there. He's going to help. Like this. That's what he said. He's going to help. They talked about him, and there's no planes. It's not so simple. It's not so. This is not a feeble old man. This is a gadol, right? I mean, but there's a world here. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Are we doing chesed? Are we not doing chesed? Are we doing what we have to do for humanity at large? I mean, who cares? A bunch of. The answer is he cared. I mean, there's a world here because it's not just about caring about. That's not the point. The point is, as Klal Yisrael, there's a unique obligation to keep this circle going for the whole world. So if there's a disaster anywhere, wherever it is, I believe that it has something to do with us doing tshuva. Kal v'chomer, if it's a disaster in Klal Yisrael. Kal v'chomer, if it's a disaster in Eretz Yisrael. Or kal ben b'noishel kal v'chomer in our own homes or in our own lives. So, okay, let's talk circulation. Let's talk circulation. And when we're talking about circulation and trying to just pick up that fuse there, then we've closed the circuit, and there's a chance of bracha that comes back, and that's what this paragraph means.
I had an image of David HaMelech dancing in front of the Aron with the 12 Shvatim, the 13 midos, and that's a circle. That's how we do. Each Sheva is a different midah.
13 meters.
20 years ago, there was all these bus parties in Yafa, things like that.
All these what?
Bus parties on Yafa on Yerushalayim. So in the...
Remember well?
So there was like 18 buses, so it was like one weekend.
12 buses, I remember a different period.
And in one of the Israeli newspapers, there was a picture, and a whole article about, I guess everything from that is a picture. The caption was old, elderly Haredi Jew helping out, volunteering. It was Rav Nevinson. And like one of those reflective vests, and holding up a bag, like it's just Rav Nevinson, the elderly.
He always feels with that man, like he doesn't. There's a certain omnibus there. There's not above anything. Like you have to do what you got to do. It's amazing, the role model.